that. Yes, my name is Jared Sharp. I am one of the directors on the Deering Estate Foundation board. We are so excited that you're out here today. This has become sort of my passion, the whole culinary interest in our events here at the Deering Estate, and the chef's demonstration tent's so much fun because, well, you get to eat and it's free, and it's shaded and it's perfect. So just stay here and come back. We have a very exciting presenter coming up from a phenomenal restaurant in Coral Gables. I would like to introduce you to Chef Pedro Mederos. Chef Pedro Mederos was born in Cuba, grew up in Miami. His pursuits in the culinary arts took him out to California, where he got to work in some impressive restaurants, including the 3 Michelin-starred Single Thread. He was out there. While he was out there, he was able to meet his business partner and wife, Catherine, who is somewhere around here. Where's she at? Back here? There, she's in the very back. Woo! And so he and Catherine came back to Miami, and unfortunately, it was during the era of COVID that we all so bleakly remember. However, their resilience and dedication to their work led them to develop a dumpling shop that ended up becoming recognized by the Michelin Guide as a must-see attraction. They developed that concept into something even greater, which has now become Kojin 2.0. I guess the dumpling shop was Kojin the original, the OG, yeah? Okay. Kojin 2.0 in the Gables. And if you have not eaten there, I highly recommend it. And I also recommend making reservations because it's small and intimate and beautiful and everybody is friendly. And I am not kidding whenever I tell you that I have never eaten at a restaurant that has a more friendly and personal staff. They are so wonderful. You guys will love it, the experience from beginning to end. So, right now, I would like to turn it over to Chef to demonstrate our upcoming dish here, swordfish, bacon, and butter beans. It sounds incredible. The process looks maybe beyond my skill set, but I'll be calling for tips. No, for real. You guys enjoy. Chef, take it away.
Okay, I am on. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chef Pedro Mederos. Catherine's in the back. She's socially awkward, and I've always wanted to do stand-up, so this is no longer a cooking demo. It is a roast of my wife. So let's go through some product ID really quick, and then we'll start to demo things out. Swordfish, the process for making swordfish bacon takes about 2 weeks. We haven't received swordfish this week. But we did receive some wahoo. So we're using the tail portion of the wahoo. It's incredibly tough. You have a lot of sinew in this. It doesn't work pleasantly for crudos and cooked. It's honestly way too fibrous. And I just wanted to show you guys this side because we have another project going on with another wahoo tail that I'll show you shortly. But we're going to make wahoo bacon out of this one loin that I removed. So we skin the wahoo, keep everything on the bone, and then we get to make something pretty cool, which is called wahoo ham. Take it over here. And this is one of the ways that our restaurants starts to make an impact on food waste, which is something that's incredibly important for both Catherine and myself. In most of the restaurants, this would just get chucked. So this has been cured. It's being pressed. You can see that it's significantly flatter than this one. And it will get hung to dry for about another 2 months before it's ready to be used. So to use fish in this kind of application is really cool. Let's walk through the bacon making process. That sounded dirty. Sorry. And then we'll move on over into the butter beans. Butter beans is essentially an American cassoulet, right? Both my wife and I and the majority of our team is classically French trained. So there's a lot of French influence in our tiny little Japanese restaurant, which we'll get into in a minute. Star anise, black pepper, bay leaf. We're going to leave that alone for a moment. You want to have a mortar and pestle. Take your salt right in. Caster sugar or powdered sugar. And then you have nitrate salt, which is just frog powder, pink salt. You can call it whatever you want. Here, we're going to get a light toasting on spices. How many of you have burned spices while toasting them? By show of hands. Don't be shy now. What you don't want to find is smoke, right? It's all on the nose. So as soon as you can smell whatever's in there, it's ready to go. And don't move it. Leave it alone. Can you guys smell it yet? Yeah? Your noses are better than mine. So you see that little bit of smoke? Boom. We're done. Sorry, I heard chef and immediately assumed that was for me. So now we grind all of this together. I don't know if the camera's getting this. Can you guys see it? Yeah? You guys can come up. I don't bite. I cut, but I don't bite. No? No takers? Got it. Here goes my stand-up career, guys. I should keep my day job. And then what we'll do is move everything out of the way. We'll take our loin right here, all of our toasted spices, and very liberally coat it. And then this will sit for a week in a dry ager and then get smoked the same way you would do so for bacon. Anyone want to come up, smell it, see it? No? All right. No takers?
Chef, I know that you said it's the same for bacon, but how long does it hang then in order to achieve its maximum flavor?
We let it cure for about a week. It gets smoked at 200 degrees for 2.5 hours, pulled out, immediately wrapped. Fish will lose a lot of its moisture. And then you're cutting into basically fish jerky that tastes and smells like bacon, which we've done way too many times. It's not fun. Don't do that. You want to wrap it, keep that moisture in. Who is pointing? There was a small child that wanted to. I see. There it is. Come here. Come on. Come up. Let's go. Chop, chop. All right, here's what we're going to do.
What's your name?
Alessandra.
Alessandra? Nice to meet you. Let's all give it up for Alessandra.
They're too big. It's fine. Come on. All right, Mom and Dad, let's go. Bring that Polaroid up. Here you go. You're going to hold that up for Mom and Dad? Where are we at? Hold it higher. Come on. Come on. There it is. All right. So you start on Tuesday. Be at the restaurant at noon. I'll discuss your salary with your parents. Let's go. You can toss the gloves out over there. Thank you. All right.
Are you all done?
Job.
Thank you, Alessandra.
So here we go. We're going to make this fast, easy, simple. This is the finished product. This is our swordfish bacon. We use the swordfish belly primarily, and then it gets pressed flat. It literally looks exactly like bacon and smells exactly like bacon when it comes out of the smoker. So you want to get a pot warm because we're going to treat it like lardons. You had your hand up. You don't have a question? Are you sure? Now's the time. So we're going to let our pot get hot, which it did. Toss that right in. Trusty, dusty rubber spat. Jared, I need help. She's saying no.
No.
Yeah,
You're correcting the chef? Oh, dear.
she's also a chef.
Oh, well, there you go.
Little touch of bacon, butter into our bacon. We want to kind of make sure those fats go in and we get a nice rendering. Can you guys smell this? What does it smell like? Fish? Ouch. Okay. Can you help me here? What does this smell like? Does it smell like bacon?
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, see? This guy knows what's up.
That fire, the butter, See, you guys see that?
So we want good caramelization on not only the fish bacon, but in the pot, because that is how we're going to build flavor. And we want to pull this off to the side so they don't completely fall apart on us. Turn the flame a little lower and start going in with our spices. A little bit of oregano, red chili flake, black pepper, confit garlic, paprika, and the rest of our butter for right now. So toasting your spices is incredibly important because that's how we're going to pull out a lot of flavor from them and get some nuances out of there too. We're going to deglaze with a touch of chicken stock. Also, if your chicken stock doesn't look like ballistics gelatin, it's not good. Try again.
What is it that allows the chicken stock to become that consistency?
So what we're looking for is collagen extraction. You get that from the cartilage, from chicken feet, from all the little sinews in between the bones. That stuff is literally gold. So where's my handy dandy assistant with the camera? So I could show you guys. See how there was some browning in the pot and now it's gone?
You can turn it toward one of these cameras up here if you want. Do we have a... Oh, I'm sorry. Right there.
Here. I'm going to do this.
There you go.
There we go. So see how the pot had some brown stuff on the bottom and now it's fairly clean? Yeah? So that's what deglazing does. So we ensured that the caramelization stayed in the liquid. It didn't burn, and we're really pulling as much flavor out as we possibly can. Sun-dried tomatoes, really underused and misused ingredient in most kitchens and in homes. Simmer down. No? Come on, guys. You're killing me. You're killing me here.
Does anybody have any questions as he's presenting? Would you like? We can bring the mic over if anybody would like to get any sort of tips or clarifications or anything. Do we have a question? No? Okay.
So it's really helpful if you guys have questions because I'm training people day in, day out, and I am very accustomed to working and talking. My wife wishes I wasn't talking and just did more working, but what do I know? There you go.
Yes, here we are.
We use a combination of apple and cherry wood.
The question was, when he's smoking the fish, what kind of wood does he use? Anybody else? No? Oh, right up here.
How are the sun-dried tomatoes misused?
So most people toss them into salads, which is fine, but you really want to heat them up and again kind of activate them, pull as much flavor out of them as possible, and don't throw away the oil that they come in. If you were getting sun-dried tomatoes like in a jar, that oil is perfect. It's packed with a ton of umami, a lot of glutamic acids. It's really, really useful, kind of all over the place. So we're going to throw in our white beans and kind of get this all married, get it nice and together. Take the rest of our chicken stock, drop that guy right in. A touch of cream, add the cream now. The pot's hot, but we're throwing things that are fairly cold, if not room temperature in, so your cream won't split, the sauce won't break on you. And it'll kind of just incorporate really beautifully. And this is kind of one of our favorite things. We work in not necessarily the most high volume kitchen, but in a kitchen that's actually quite physically demanding and requires a lot of attention to detail. So when you have a dish that you can kind of set it, forget it, walk away for about an hour or so, it's really fun. My wife's am I getting the claw? Am I getting a bit booted off stage? Microplane a little bit of parm. We're going to cut up some basil, let it steep, add our swordfish bacon back, and just let it cook super low and slow. Any questions before my wife kicks me off stage?
Hi. You
Oh, yeah.
explain you mentioned you have French culinary education, but you have a Japanese restaurant. Can you kind of explain what out of this dish is more French, or is it more?
That's an amazing question. So it's based in French cuisine, right? Cassoulet, but all cultures kind of have a bean stew. So in Japan, it would be called adazuki. The utilization of the beans, the cream, the chicken stock, kind of how we throw all these ingredients in there, is more modern American and kind of highlights what we have going on down here in Florida, right? Finding swordfish outside of the Caribbean or, deep ocean, it's not prevalent. And then taking a product that could be used in a ton of ways and finding a really creative way is inherently very Japanese. I mean, these are the people who make like whale bacon, and it's delicious. Let's not dive too deep into that.
Did I see? Was there another question? Yeah, one moment.
Hi, Chef.
Hi.
Do you what type of pans and pots do you recommend for cooking?
That's a great question. So we use Made In and All Clad. We constantly swap back and forth between induction and gas cooking. So it all depends on what you have at home, but always try and find a heavy bottom pot or pan that can handle being both on an induction burner, a gas burner, or just an electric top, right? Don't buy anything that is like singular use. Also, for cast iron pans, if you have cast irons, they work on induction. That's another thing. Every pan has a use, and it's kind of it. Made in, all clad, can't go wrong there. If you want to spend a little extra money, Smithies are really good. They're made here in the U.S., and they're carbon steel cast iron pots and pans. Are you guys hungry? Okay.
I just checked in the back. They are plating the dish here, so we should be able to start sampling this very, very soon. Chef, what led you to focus on Japanese food, especially for your Kojin restaurant?
So for us, it was all about the thought of how in Japan, or for how Westerners view Japan, right? Everyone in Japan is a master of their craft. And then you talk to someone who is Japanese and in their craft, and they're like, I'm not a master at all. I've just been doing it for this long, and I hope to continue getting better. And then whoever they're training as their master moves on, they're just picking up where their master left off. So it's this thought process of always being better than yourself from one day to the next. And that's something that both my wife and I really try to embody in the restaurant, as parents, with our team. And it's always like, can you just be 1% better tomorrow than you were today? And, you know, I enjoy working long hours right next to my wife. We work 28 hours a day, 8 days a week together. It's a blast. So it's a lot of fun.
そうだ、日本人ですか？
いかがですか？
はい、日本語わかります。
Okay, now I'm going to get in trouble, guys. So let me steal someone's phone again. Here we go. Oh, it has a joystick. Hold on. See how we're bubbling away right now? Is that on camera? We got it? Good. So that's all we want to see. This is another really cool time for a tip. You see how these bubbles are fairly large, right? When you're cooking, when you want something to reduce and you want to know that it's gotten thick enough, those bubbles should be significantly smaller, right? Little bubbles means very little liquid, so things have thickened up. And with beans, that happens in an instant, so you really kind of have to take your time and watch this. Sorry, I'm a child.
We're going to start serving the food soon. If anyone's standing and wants to enjoy the chef demonstration with a sample, please make your way to a seat and we can certainly get you a ticket to get you that food. Otherwise, get ready. It's starting to come out. But we do appreciate your patience as well. Thank you.
Yeah, also up here we have the Gables magazine that we're on the cover of. It's the best picture of my wife that exists. And I don't know who the schmuck standing next to her is. And our business cards with our address, phone number, and some of our information if you guys want to come visit us at the restaurant, which we would really love and appreciate. Oh, there's more over here. And seriously, now is a great time for questions. I mean, ask me about this dish, being a restaurant owner, a parent, whatever you want.
We have a question right here.
Hi, Chef. So I recall hearing you were Cuban, right?
Yes.
Do you enjoy Cuban cooking as well?
So I do. There's a little inside joke between my wife and I. Cuba's the land that seasoning forgot, which is why I salt things very heavily. It's childhood trauma at this point, but the real Cuban food fanatic in the room, or in our household, is Catherine, who's back there. She asks for it all the time, and I refuse to do it because I'm horrible.
One more.
Yes.
Picadillo, raisins or no raisins?
Oh, come on, dude. Don't do that. Don't start World War III.
Don't answer the question.
No. Let me explain. I have an answer, right? If your picadillo is gray, no raisins. If your picadillo is like nice, brown, perfectly caramelized, yes, raisins. You need the touch of sweetness. And if you say anything else, you're wrong. I should know. I'm the chef, right? Don't argue.
Chef, a question. Besides wahoo and swordtail, what other fish would you use this recipe on?
You know, that's a great question. You could use any fish that's fatty. You kind of want to avoid oily fish. So the difference between fatty fish and oily fish, think of like bluefin tuna, belly, or yellowfin tuna. Those are fatty fish. They have a lot of intramuscular fat between each layer of meat. So like think of salmon, orange with a strip of white. That strip of white is fat. So you could also use salmon now that we're talking about it. Something you wouldn't want to use is mackerel. mackerel's oily. You're going to leach a lot of the fishy oils out, and that's what makes fishy fish fishy. That's what makes fish fishy. Fishy fish fishy? Fishy fish fishy, right? Yeah, thank you. You want to...
That is not Taylor laughing.
Not me, I promise.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
Please?
I would say those of you who have gotten your samples so far, are you enjoying it? Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you for your patience as we are passing them out, everyone.
No,
Look
absolutely.
at those big smiles. Hunger is the best sauce.
I am very happy to field any more questions for him while he is still standing up here. Chef, is there anything else you would like to talk about regarding this particular dish or your process or?
This particular dish is really one of our fun and delicious ways to showcase that even if it's not an ideal product, right? Like a fish tail or fish eyes, there's always a use. And to try and support restaurants that are finding a way to have 100% or as close to 100% utilization of all of our food products. My wife, who will never take any credit for anything because she works too hard, is actually currently getting her master's in sustainable food systems through the CIA. The fun CIA, the Culinary Institute of America, not the other one. Let's not talk about the other one right now. That guy's my best friend. For us, it's about let's put less in the trash and in landfills and find delicious ways to use these things up, right? And delicious, fun ways. There we go.
Absolutely. That does deserve applause. I completely agree. That's such a wonderful approach to have in your cooking and your restaurant business and everything like that. Because as we keep growing in population, we're going to have to learn how to share the planet a lot better than we are doing right now. So props to you guys, and that's a phenomenal thing. Definitely worth the accolades. Yes, we have a question right here.
That was fantastic. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So you invited the question, ask me what it's like running a restaurant. So I'm going to ask you what it's like running a restaurant, and in particular, what's it like? What are the specific challenges being in a place like Coral Gables, which has such density of great food options and great restaurants?
So, great question. We were very strategic about that. Our restaurant is actually on the outskirts of the Gables, so we're just off of 8th Street on Ponce, in a fairly commercial area that's a lot of offices. And we're a little bit off the beaten path for Coral Gables, but we wanted it that way. We wanted something a little bit quieter. If it's 5:15, you can find parking any day of the week, right? We don't open for lunch for that reason. And one of the main challenges of owning and operating a restaurant, it's distribution of time, right? And how we kind of make that happen. So my wife and I are up every day at 6 o'clock in the morning. One of us, mostly her, will take the baby to school. She's 2.5, so then there's getting the kid to school. You have to carve out time to be a parent, and then a business owner, and then the owner, operator, receiver, accountant, invoice person, wine taster, wine beverage director, dishwasher, maitre d', and then, do all of those things well, and then go home to your kid and do it 6 days a week, if not 7. So that's the hardest part, right? It's how we distribute our time and making sure that both our work-life balance is somewhat in check, and that we continue to... Where did she go? She's over there. We continue... I thought she left. I got so excited. I mean, sad. No, we continue to have like a healthy marriage, a healthy working environment between us. And at the end of the day, that when we go home, Jameson, our son, is like, Mom, Dad, right? Not like, who are you guys? So that's the most difficult part. Everything else is pretty much a walk in the park.
Phenomenal.
The first
Catherine,
time
do you have
I've
anything
ever
to add to
heard
that?
walk in the park for the restaurant. I don't know about
110 hours a week, like all joking aside, that is what we do. My wife and I, it's about 110 hours a week in the space. And we had a big conversation with our team. They're like, you guys work crazy hours. And we're like, doesn't everybody do this? Is this not normal? So we may just be the exception.
I would love to. Unfortunately, I have to say we're getting a little bit low on time, and I want to make sure we get around because Kojin has very generously donated a gift certificate. So I think if we can have
Is everyone that's been seated received
who
their
all
sample?
is okay. Everybody has a yellow ticket in their hand, right?
Yes,
Yep.
we're gonna
Okay,
start
wonderful.
collecting
So
those
let's go ahead
raffle
and start
tickets.
collecting the raffle tickets. Has everybody been served their sample? Are we still working on that?
Yes.
What's that? Taylor, we need another yellow ticket pair over, two more yellow ticket pairs over here.